Hi, and welcome to pre-Thanksgiving Vicki and Vinnie Live. Except we're not live.
Yes, they know. So it's Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We're pre-recording because today Cassie is dropping off all the food.
Yes, all the food donations, which we just have to thank everyone. Everyone was so incredibly generous.
And I still have one more job to do, right? I have to go shopping.
You have to shop with Cassie because a number of people had given monetary donations, like Sandy Monticello had given a monetary donation.
Who?
Like
Sandy Monticello, yeah, of course. That was a big one.
That was a big one. Lori Trowbridge, my cousin Lori Trowbridge.
I didn't know she gave money.
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm.
So
she had
sweet.
Venmo'd me. Yeah. Todd and Mary Harpence dropped off a huge bin of food.
It was delicious. It was so good.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
It was huge. It was a huge bin of food. The Ginsburg dropped off food.
So many people dropped off food.
Many people dropped off food. It was really wonderful and generous.
Very generous.
Yeah.
And so all the food's in the truck. I am going to go and shop with the money, put that in the truck, and then go right over and drop it all off.
Right, in Middletown.
Hopefully Noah will come videotape it all.
Yeah.
You're coming with us for the drop, right?
I can't.
Why?
I have so much to do here.
No, you have to come. No, you have to teach your daughter. You have to be there.
Yes, I've been there for my daughter. Well, you know what? Since we don't need to squabble about this. You know what my new favorite saying is now? Let's put a pin and circle back. Let's put a pin and circle back. It's my way of saying we won't be talking about this anymore.
You got to be there for her. She did such a good thing.
Let's put a pin, circle back. Circle and back. So, you did go, in all seriousness, though, you did go to the doctor's today.
I did. Your reaction was a little shocking because I had to go to my hearing doctor.
How was my reaction shocking?
I'm going to get into it. So, shocking in a. I know you're being supportive, but it's difficult, right? So here's what happened. So I had to go.
I don't know what I did wrong.
No, you didn't do anything wrong.
Let's dive in for like a Dr. Phil
nothing to
episode.
do with you doing anything right or wrong. Mm-hmm. As everyone knows, I'll say it here early in the podcast.
All right, Barnacle.
Yeah, we'll get that too. So anyway, so I'm deaf, and I posted a video up about being deaf, specifically about the story when I almost boarded the wrong plane.
Right.
And Tabby stopped me from boarding the wrong plane. I don't know how that could have. I don't know how they let me go. Mm-hmm. But I would have been wherever they were going.
Right.
Without Tabby. Mm-hmm. So since that day forward, you make sure that they know. And so,
I've added it to all your boarding passes.
Right. And and so I put a video. Now people are reacting to the video and saying he talks too good to be deaf. And I'm like, I talk too good. How about some proper grammar?
Right.
Out of you. And other people are defending me. Regardless, I've had an ear thing going on. So I went to the doctor today. Right. They gave me an audiology exam. Mm-hmm. And this is something that's so weird. I had anxiety because I knew I was failing.
Right.
And I had anxiety over it. Mm-hmm. And she's saying, well, say this word. Say the word, whatever they say.
Yeah.
And sometimes the word's duck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I think I heard something else.
Yeah.
So I knew I was failing, which gave me tremendous anxiety. And I also knew I was failing because when she came into the booth, you're in a soundproof booth, to give me instructions, she came in and she went, and she mimed what I had to do.
Right, okay.
Now, what ended up happening is they told me they're going to test me for a cochlear implant.
Right.
Which I don't want.
Right.
Okay, no one wants a cochlear implant. Especially, I'm 42 years old-ish, and I don't I don't want one. It sits in your head like a VCR. Mm-hmm. You think hearing aids are bad. People are out and out belligerent. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine somebody saying the things they say to me? Like, could you imagine someone put up a video of him playing Frisbee in a wheelchair and someone else say, must not be cripple.
Right.
He's playing, So now when I called you, your response, I know you're trying to be supportive. You go, oh my God, this could be so good. And I'm like, no, I have a microwave oven on my head. It's not good.
Well, I didn't think about it that way. I was just thinking that there's so much that you missed out on. And we had talked about a cochlear implant a few years ago, you and I. And you said at that time you weren't a candidate for it.
Right.
So
I wasn't deaf enough.
You weren't deaf enough. That's correct. And so at that time you weren't a candidate. And I was just thinking of ways to
For you to peck at me and I can hear it.
no, enhance your life. To enhance your life, because it's difficult for you. You know, when we go to a party, you know, you'll look at me a lot, and I will have to tell you what is being said because you're missing it. And that's why I have to be honest with you. I find it super annoying when we've gone to certain dinner parties in your friend circles. My friends don't do this fancy shit. But in your friend circles, when you go to dinner parties, they will sit you not next to your spouse. And it's annoying because...
You call my friends annoying.
No, I'm just saying that practice... I don't appreciate the practice because it's difficult for you because you can't hear what's happening then.
Right.
Because a lot of times I will say, you know, what is happening. And I know that's not what their intention is at all. But we're...
I don't think anyone said, let's have a dinner party. You know how we can really get Vinnie? You know he can't hear, right? Hear me out. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're gonna do. He relies on his wife. She's like his ears. Let's separate them and we'll fuck with them the whole night.
All right. I think that sometimes when it comes to stuff with your hearing, I do get a little sensitive. I do get a little sensitive and I do get a little angry.
Yes.
A few years ago, we were talking to an ad rep and it was a big campaign. And he had said something very derogatory towards you about your hearing. He laughed or something. When I had said, we were on this big conference call, and I had said, oh, you just have to speak up. My husband is, 85% deaf. And he laughed. And so I finished the call, and we finished the call. I didn't react then. And then when you weren't on the call, I then called him back and said, you're fired. Yeah. And
this is why I can say
this.
Who'd you find?
Yeah,
write it down.
It was what's his face in Bridgeport. I called him back and I said, "You're fired. You think it's funny to make fun of someone's disabilities? I won't have it. Sorry, you're fired.
You're making me messed up."
And then his boss got on the phone and he was like, "I don't know why I laughed." Blah 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 blah. So I think when we go to dinner parties, I think that it's...
You just start firing people.
Well...
You're not his friend anymore. You! Out! I don't care if it's your house. You're out!
Well, for me, it's the same thing. Like, you would be considerate. Like, if I had somebody coming to my home that needed extra care, like, once anyone walks in my home that needs extra care, I feel like I go out of my way.
Yes.
And
a friend of ours just crossed this line.
Yes, and I'm glad that I wasn't there, to be honest with you, because somebody thought they were funny, and it's never funny, because I don't say to him, like, you're a fucking dum-dum. Like... But
don't go any further.
I'm not going to go any further. I get very heated about it but that's why I was so enthusiastic about the prospect of you getting a cochlear implant. Yeah. Because I feel it's going to be a game changer for you. You miss so much.
People are going to make fun of me even more.
No, they won't. But there was... Look at that. No, that would be terrible. So
can you get the fight on that thing? I can hear him now. Can you get the MMA? I can hear it. I know what they're going to do.
No, it's just this, one really just... I mean, he goes through his life.
Well, here's the thing. I know what you're saying, and that's super sweet of you. But, from where I sit, right, I don't know if you realize, like, you've heard other people's conversation your whole life.
Yes, I have.
So I don't know why. I've only heard your transcriptions. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why anyone wants to hear that. Have you heard what they're saying? And I got to tell you something. There's a big part of me that says, okay, like, I'm a comic. I pick on people, right? So the big part of me says, I can't be a baby about it.
Right.
Right? And I rarely say anything.
No, you don't.
Now, years ago, I said something to someone at a dinner party, and you got upset with me because that person ended up crying.
Oh, I don't remember, but
I'll remind you off air.
Yeah, we're not going to go there right
now.
Well,
here's the thing, too. It doesn't matter to me. Like, listen, my good friends, And even my not good friends, I don't care. I'll take a good-natured ribbing. But when you're hearing you're getting a cochlear implant, it's a beat thing to hear.
It is a beat thing to hear, but also I do think so. Last weekend we had a show, and there was a woman there who had a cochlear implant on one side and a hearing aid on the other, which is what you would be having.
Yeah.
And then she didn't have the service dog with her, but she has a service dog. And we were discussing that today because and I have long thought this, but I don't know how to do it with your cell phone, that your phone would light up if it rings. But I mean, now it rings in your ears.
Right.
But there's so many things that you would need to be more visual. And one of the things that happened all those years ago is when...
You almost let me die.
I did not almost let you die. I asked the fire department if I could go back up, and I went to wake you up when the fire alarms were going off. Because
How did you get out of the room without me?
I was down. You were sleeping, and I was downstairs with Maddie. She was just a baby.
Oh, you weren't...
I was in the hotel room. I was in the hotel. I was downstairs. It was the day after New Year's Eve. I was downstairs with Maddie because Miriam's mom had babysat Maddie, and it would have been a horrible night for Miriam's mom because Maddie had stranger danger, and she cried all night.
We taught our kids.
Stop. And so the fire alarm had getting pulled the whole night.
The whole night.
And so the fire department had to keep coming out. So no one had any sleep. The next morning, I'm downstairs with Miriam's mom and Maddie, and it's going off again, and they're evacuating everything. And I said, I have to go up to get my husband. He's deaf. He won't hear. But if we got a service dog, you would be able to hear things.
Let me just tell him I was like,
okay.
Jim Brewer, I'm doing a podcast. Can I call you back in 15 minutes? All right, bye. Good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had a cochlear implant, and I couldn't tell that woman had a cochlear implant, but I mean, she did have longer hair.
Yeah, women have big heads of hair. You know, the thing I would do, I could become, if I became Rastafarian,
sure,
I could wear the big hat.
That's probably a good idea.
Right? And wear the big hat. And I would have to smoke weed, obviously. That's the deal breaker for me. I have to smoke simulated weed. Big Rastafarian. I thought of a couple ways I could do it. But the big hat, the Rastafarian hat, that's the number one thing, I think, that I can get away with. But think about this. I ski. I can't wear it when you ski.
How can you can't take a cochlear implant out?
Yeah, then you can't hear.
But no, you can't take it out, can you?
No, it's a thing that sits on your head. It plugged into your head.
Ah.
Essentially, I am Iron Man.
Oh.
I'm Iron Man.
Oh, I didn't know that it could come in and out.
Yeah, but you wouldn't call me Iron Man. I would just be Iron Ear. I'd be Iron. I am Iron Ear.
I would say that it would drastically change our family dynamic too.
How?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
We've all talked about that.
Yes, you have. You're all talking about me. So here's the thing. It also makes you metallic sounding. It makes things sound
right.
Mechanical. So I would have to go from hearing your voice, which I love, to hearing you in what would be considered like a computer-generated nag.
Gotcha.
Clean up the house, do you? Vinnie, why are we late again? Vinnie, why do you do this? So I don't know. I get used to that. So that's the thing.
My mom also suggested that if you waited a few years, that perhaps they'll have different technology.
Give me 1 second. So back to the implant. I'm waiting until January to get evaluated again. Because here's the other thing. So now I'm a candidate. However, it may not work for me.
Oh.
So now there's a second hurdle.
Gotcha.
Right? So the first hurdle is, are you deaf enough? And I'm deaf enough.
Right.
And now the second hurdle is, will it work for you? And so it may not work for me. Now, who the hell knows? All I can tell you is, for the next couple weeks, I'll probably be, I'm not going to be sensitive. See, that's the thing, too. I can't get upset if people make a non-malicious joke about it. The problem is,
Well, I think you can though, because I mean, listen, it's rude. Like, I wouldn't look at somebody's toe and say, "Ew, what happened to your toe? Why is it all funkly going like that?" It's just a rude thing to say.
but
like,
it's a legitimate comment.
No.
Why is your toe doing that? What? Seriously, what the hell is going on?
no, but I think that in terms,
And that's a much more common problem.
no, but I just think that if you are that, I don't know, if you're that much of a numbnuts that you have to say things that it's a physical disability, it just, I don't know. I just think it's awful. Like, listen, there's somebody else.
It's low-hanging fruit.
It is.
And it's almost always with some type of malice. That's the problem.
It is. Like, somebody in business, which again, I wasn't there, thank God. But Vinnie had a great reaction himself, had said, mimicked, saying he was going to have to learn sign language to talk to Vinnie. To which Vinnie said, well, maybe you won't, indicating that maybe the business partnership will be ending soon.
Actually, what I said it was, maybe not.
Yes.
Just very, very simple.
Yeah. So I just think that it's all uncalled for. I really do. I think it's all uncalled for, and I would never, particularly with that person that said it, who has other health issues going on themselves, I would never make fun of that person.
Yeah.
That's awful.
That's why I don't make fun. That's why I'll tell you what. That's such a great story. Do you remember? I'm trying to get his name in my head. The multiplegic boy that came to the club. I could see that. What the hell is his name?
Yes.
Oh my God! I'm so embarrassed. I could see the sign hanging there.
Yeah.
So we had this customer, and he was multiplegic. So he was like Stephen Hawking.
Yes.
And God Almighty, I'm good friends with the brother still. I'm embarrassed. I can't think of it. I will, and I know you watch the podcast. I'm just having a moment. I will get it in my head.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he comes in the club, and I'm on stage, and he's in the front row, and the kid moves his chair with his tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, he can't move. And I talking about being deaf, and how people go when they talk to me, and they mouth like they're saying a word. And this multiplegic kid did that to me, and I go, "Are you picking on me for being deaf?" And he laughed, and I'm like, "Dude, you're 50 times more handicapped than I am."
Right.
And I start pounding him. God Almighty, I'm so mad at myself. I could see the brother, I could see everybody. So anyway, what ended up happening is, at the end of the show, I talked to him. The audience got uptight, then they started laughing.
Right.
That kid came 100 times.
Yeah.
Because we made him feel normal because there was no malice.
Right.
The kid knew he was included.
Yes.
So I'm more than willing for someone to pick on me if there's no malice. But it's pretty rare.
It is pretty rare. It really is pretty rare.
But I also want you to know I'm not, like, you're all my friends. And you come and you watch us every Tuesday live. None of you have ever offended me, in all probability.
No, I don't think any of them have ever said anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm making sure they're off the hook. I don't want them now purging their memory. Did I ever make a joke? Because I'm not above reproach at all. I think everyone should take a good-natured ribbing. So if you have a joke at my expense, I'm usually pretty good with it. Mm-hmm. It's. I would love to tell that story, but I can't.
Yeah, don't. All right.
No, I'll tell you off the air. It's such a great story. Can I just tell a little bit of the story?
No. So, are you excited for Thanksgiving? Because this is our first Thanksgiving that we're hosting
Since COVID.
Because in 2019, it was the windows were all open. It was like a stop by.
It was ridiculous.
Or 2020. In 2021, it was my favorite. We were in Disney World. Actually, we were in Universal that day.
We were Universal?
We were in Universal.
Where did we eat that day?
In the parks.
It's like whatever, right?
Yeah,
Pretzels?
whatever. Yeah, and I loved it.
We ate. I know exactly where we ate.
Where?
We ate at Krusty Land. At Moe's.
We did.
We ate at Moe's.
It did. I have to say that was one of my favorite Thanksgivings.
I have to say that I enjoy the table.
I know you do. You don't do any of the work. That's why he enjoys it.
Well, you know what it is.
You know what? When you don't do all the shopping, you don't do all the cooking, you don't do all the cleaning, and you sit there while your wife gets up and cleans afterwards, and you just keep entertaining while I'm cleaning for hours. Of course you like it.
Vicki.
Why wouldn't you like it? I would like that.
I'm doing the hosting.
Yeah.
That's not true. I help clean up.
Not that much.
I heard that.
Yeah, really.
I don't even plan to hear that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you enjoy it. Thanksgiving is not one of my favorite holidays. It's just not.
My favorite Thanksgiving was our first or second year together.
Oh, I know you're going to talk about my mom's house.
It's Thanksgiving at your mother's house. Wayne was late.
Yeah.
Very late.
And that's when my parents still smoked.
And we were in a tiny little house on Lake Apacon. And when we say smoked,
Yeah.
we mean
Yeah.
Shanghai China smoke. I mean, Paul used to light the next cigarette with the burning end of the first, and he never stopped. He was 4 packs a day, 80 cigarettes a day, a record that stands today.
Yeah.
Your mother was 3 packs a day.
Yeah, she was Newport.
And they would smoke. It was just crack me up. She'd making the mashed potatoes. Vic, hand me the butter.
Well, it's so funny because Karen would talk about when we were kids, and my mom would come down when we were working out, and she'd be like, "Oh, I can do this." She'd literally be like, "Wait a minute, yeah." So,
well, that Thanksgiving, and your mother does not remember it the same way I do.
no, she doesn't.
Do you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. So that Thanksgiving, first of all, I worked the night before.
Yes.
You were not working that night.
Yes, because we had my nephew, Little Wayne. We were watching because my brother and his wife at the time, Barbara, had taken her 2 older kids to New York City to see the Macy Day Parade.
Right. And so, which I think that ended in a fight, right?
No.
They didn't have a fight that day?
No.
Barb and Wayne?
No.
All right.
No.
So, but it doesn't matter anyway, because, I love Barb and I love Wayne, but so now we're waiting.
Yeah.
And your mother's going, well, we can't eat till Wayne gets here.
Yeah.
And I am starving. And I'm developing tumors because I want to eat because A, I'm hungry, and B, I'm assuming incorrectly that the cigarettes will go out during the dining process. I just want a breath of fresh air and some mashed potatoes. That's all I want.
My mom just makes the best mashed potatoes.
Oh my God, the best mashed potatoes. Especially when you get the ash mixed in there and it gives it a little color. So anyway, I just want to eat, and we're waiting. And that year we're having mashed potatoes with lasagna.
Yes.
Because that's what she served.
Right.
On paper plates.
On paper plates because it was easy cleanup. Now, she does not remember it that way. She thinks she served a turkey. But you have known my mom now for 27 years.
Yes.
And you know my mom. So we're babysitting my nephew the night before. So you know damn right well she's keeping her life easy and making lasagna ahead of
Lasagna it
time.
was.
Because she used to always make lasagna for the family parties.
Just like the Pilgrims and the Indians. Let's pass that lasagna. Did Christopher Columbus cook that? This is delicious. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
Because we had to wait.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at that table, and Pop was getting
Feisty.
Your mother's smoking. He'll be here any minute. It was hours. It was hours.
Well, back then, when my brother was late, she would wait for my brother.
Yes.
No matter what. Like,
Yes.
you couldn't eat without my brother. So we would sit and just wait. But listen, I have to say, you're always late yourself. So it's kind of crazy for you to call out anybody else about being late.
I ain't that late.
Yes,
I ain't
you
that
are.
late. I'm not 2 packs of Pall Mall late.
Yeah.
So what do we got going on? We talked about me the whole time.
Yeah, so that was really it. We were going to talk about, Thanksgiving.
Well, this Saturday is a big day. It's Michigan, Ohio State.
Yes, which we are watching.
And we got to worry about your guy,
Yeah.
Blake Corum. We're concerned that Blake Corum may not be playing.
I really do. I really have gotten into Michigan football. I really enjoy it a lot.
Well, they got Schoonmaker back. They've got Donovan Edwards back. They got a healthy quarterback. They've got, Ronnie Bell is healthy.
I like
the
Ronnie
O-line is healthy. If they can get Blake Corum in the lineup healthy,
yeah.
it's a it's
Yes.
a solid thing. The odds makers are favoring Ohio State by 7.5 points.
Wow.
And yet all the even money is coming in on Michigan. Interesting.
That is interesting.
The odds makers are either going to make a ton or they're going to get murdered. So I bet $10,000 on Michigan.
Oh, sure.
I knew you wouldn't care.
Pocket change laying around.
I don't sports gamble. But I would be tempted on this one. But it's
No.
already I can't watch the game. I'm too
No, I wouldn't. I would not go for that. I don't even like when we go to Atlantic City And I don't like to give more than $50. It used to be $20, but with inflation now, I feel like I got to do 50. But
I think the casino needs to take inflation-adjusted dollars for me.
well, because all the slot machines, they're $1 now. So it used to be I could do a quarter and I could sit for $20 and I could just sit there for a really long time. And now it's $1. But I don't like.
You hate Atlantic City. You hate the gambling. You hate everything.
I do. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
My favorite story. I went down there and worked. I opened up for Dom Herrera. They treated us amazing. Beautiful hotel suite. A dinner ahead of time. The green room was packed with unbelievable food and wine. The Patriot was on. The movie The Patriot
was on, yeah.
So Vicki decided to stay and watch The Patriot. She'd only seen it 44 times at that point.
At that time, I had 2 little kids at home. I never had a moment to myself. And The Patriot was on. There was wine. There was cheese. There was crackers. There was grapes.
Fruit, vegetables.
And I was going to be by myself.
Yeah.
But then Dom Herrera's cousin came in and sat with me and just kind of ruined the whole vibe. Yeah. And because I thought I was going to be by myself.
Go see Vinnie. He's very funny. Why aren't you watching him? I've seen it. Go see Vinnie.
I have seen it. So.
But that next, so we get done doing the show. Now I got paid well. I got a room. Yeah. I got dinner. And I said to Vicki, let's go gamble a little bit. And we went to play Wheel of Fortune. We each put $20 in. And on my second pull, I won like $800. That
was me.
No, you won second.
No, yes. I won.
Listen to me. You did win, but you won after I won. Because I was playing, and I thought they were quarters. And the lady next to me was going wild. And she's like, oh, aren't you so excited? I'm like, well, it's 800 quarters. And she goes, no, those are dollars. And I'm like, dollars? And I punked out right away. And I won $865, something like that. And you were next to me. You started with $20, and you played 1 credit. And you played 1 credit again. Now I already have $865 in my hand. Plus they paid me. And I go, come on. And I reached over and I bet the maximum. And you yelled at me.
I did. I was really angry with you.
That's right. And on your next pull, you won $800. Yeah, and we have $1,600. And it happened in 5 minutes. So I say to Vicki, I say to you, I've always wanted to play 1 round of $100 blackjack. I got $1,600 of their money. Let me go play 1 round of blackjack. So I go, I put $100 up, and I'm the man. You sit down, you put up 100, you just throw the chips right up like you're bet. And I got like a pair of 9s against a deer of 6. So I'm like, oh my God. So I split it, and I got like a deuce and an ace or whatever it was. And then I doubled on those, and I had 4 hands, 21, 21, 20, 20, something like that. And the dealer broke. I won $400. We now have $2,100 of the casino's money, and we go to bed. And we had not been gambling 10 minutes.
No.
And you'd think all that euphoria, there'd be a home game involved or an away game involved. There was no away game. Vicki was tired, and I got shut out. And but it doesn't matter. The next morning I get up. You think that's disappointing? The next morning I get up and I go, hey Vicki. I go, they got this amazing buffet downstairs. Let's go treat ourselves at an amazing buffet. And Vicki goes, I'm not giving this casino 1 dime of my money. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And you would not let me have that buffet.
So what did we have for breakfast? Do you remember?
Yeah, of course I remember. Dunkin' Donuts flatbread sandwich.
Flatbread sandwiches.
Yeah.
The whole breakfast cost us like $8.
Yeah. And do you need a large coffee? Just get a medium. We're saving money. It was one of the all-time cheap moves.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
But you know why? Because honestly, and then we actually have to wrap up. But honestly, because those breakfast buffets, they're $60 each or like $30 each or some crazy amount of money. We don't eat like that. We don't eat that much. So when we do, like when we're on vacation and they do have the breakfast buffets and that's like the only choice you have, I then bring a huge purse.
Oh, you're the worst.
And I get my lunch and I get our snacks because I don't sit there and who eats roast beef in the morning? Ew, gross. First of all, I don't eat roast beef anyway. But regardless, I wouldn't sit and eat like those full meals in the morning.
When you get old, you're going to be awful. You're going to be so bad. We were just in Ann Arbor. We sit down, we have breakfast. Vicki took back to the room at least 9 yogurts, 3 or 4 cartons of milk.
Yeah, because breakfast was $22.
Well, they'll never do that again, will they? We taught them, didn't we? It was the amount of stuff you carried away. And I don't know if you saw the waitress. She was like this, just going.
It doesn't matter because it's the same thing. Like, I don't eat. Like, I had an omelet, an egg white omelet. That's what I ate.
Put that right in the Tupperware.
So, and then
Make me another omelet and put it in the Tupperware.
I was watching everybody else. Like, they were never going to eat again.
Yeah.
You know, the pancakes, the bacon, the eggs, the juice, the this, the that. And so, you know what? Yes, I get why your meal is $22. So my meal is going to be $22 by taking all the yogurts and the bananas and the apples.
Everything that wouldn't move. Did you see the one guy with the bacon? Did you see that plate of bacon he took?
No, I didn't.
I thought he was taking bacon for a family because he took a plate and he was just, it was like a mountain. It was literally, I'm telling you, there was a pound of bacon, maybe more. And he walked over. It's him and his wife. I'm like, oh my God, just rip your colons out right here. Yeah. Put them right on the table. So in any event, last couple things. I know you want to get out of here.
You always, last couple things. It's never.
Well, we hit a big milestone.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
50,000 people following on Facebook. That's a awesome. Huge milestone.
That is huge.
And we have to clap it up for Noah, who's been a very big part of that.
Yes, our own Michael Gelman.
I'll tell you right now, he's done a great job putting it together. He makes sure the clips are up there. There are days I don't even talk to him. Right. And you don't talk to him some days, but I don't talk to him because I'm busy. You don't like him, so you try to talk to him. But and we're this close to 10,000 on YouTube. Yeah. And we're this close to 10,000 on Instagram.
That's awesome.
And we're this close to 10,000 on TikTok. So all in, we're very, very close to 100,000 followers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because all the platforms together, and it's picking up steam. Yeah. So Noah, great job.
Yeah, great job, Noah. Great job.
The number of scripts that you have made has dwindled each week. Now, mind you, he still screws up. Sure. I mean, Noah is still what we would call barely functioning. Yeah. But I'm only kidding. Noah is the best, and we should say also. Thank you to Sophia for her early help.
Sophia.
And now Noah has enlisted from the club, Lily, Irene, of course our daughters, Peter, Bailey, Alec. So now we have a really good crew of people that are, right? Yeah. And we're shooting our commercial that you're finishing tomorrow morning. You know what commercial I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Vicki's not going to be happy. All right, we got to go. Vicki's so mad.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody, have a great Thanksgiving. Spend some time with your loved ones. And if you did not donate to the food drive, don't worry. There's a toy drive right around the corner. Yeah. We love all you. See you soon.
Bye. Good night.